Hit the like button, subscribe button, all that great stuff. You know how they got crime chasers who go around and, chase after Chicago crimes or crimes in the, oh, it's definitely passing JFB for sure. It's definitely passing. But do you know how they have, like if there's a disaster, the Salvation Army and the Red Cross have those types of workers who go out to these events and actually, provide disaster assistance and stuff like that. Why doesn't the NRA and the USCCA or even NAGA, whatever, or even the Illinois State Rifle Association, why don't they have on the ground persons who can respond to some of these situations? Well, what does that mean? Some of these people have no one to advocate for them, right? So just imagine if, hey, my name is Mike Brown. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry to hear what happened. And I represent the Enter Your 2A organization here. We got some warm blankets for you. We got a warming center, right around, in this area for you. We want to provide you some stuff for you to be able to defend yourself, because violence in Chicago is just a travesty. And we want to make sure that you're able to help yourself. The police, they're out here, but they're not out here to protect you. And I hate to say that, whatever, but they're not out here to protect you. Warren versus District of Columbia, this and this and that. It's your job to protect you. And we really care about you being able to protect yourself. And we got a voucher for a free concealed carry class. And provided that you have a clean background, we also have a voucher so that we can go ahead and help you process your application so that you can be on the road to helping you protect yourself. Would that be too much trouble? Now, guess what you did in that moment? In that moment of despair, you helped uplift that person to a point where they feel like they're able to protect themselves. You have empowered them. And you know what you've done in empowering them? They will likely come through for you in moments like this. Hey, my name is Mike. You remember that time where we came out? And how's your family doing, by the way? How are you feeling? Are you taking advantage of that training? I know we've been keeping tabs. We've been keeping tabs, yo. We know you've been taking advantage of that training. Man, right now, they're getting ready to pass a bill. They're getting ready to pass a bill that would take, remember, we took you to the gun store and helped you select, the type of guns that work for you, not for us, but for you. We put you through that extra training. Well, right now, they have a bill. And that bill seeks to take away the guns that you just bought, the training that you received, the magazine capacity. Yeah, I remember you were telling me your story about how you were a victim of domestic violence. I remember you telling me that. I remember you telling me that you went and got an order of protection. I remember you telling me that you got an order of protection. And in that order of protection, I remember you telling me that the order of protection didn't help you, that he still kicked in the door, that she still put her hands on you, that they still came in and jumped you. And I remember you telling me that since then, they tried to do it again, but you had your gun on you and you were able to back them off and you were able to move to a different location. And we even got you some, counseling and stuff like that and some education so you can learn some things about you. Well, would it be too much trouble if you talked about some of the things that we did to help you? Would that be too much trouble? Watch, she would be filing the witness slip. She'll be right there testifying. Why does that matter? because you have to understand the politics in Illinois. See, some of you are so some of you all are so Republican, you're not Democrat. Does that make sense? Some of you all are so Republican, you're not Democrat. Some of you are so 2A, you don't think like somebody who's not. Why do I say you need to have females out there in these hearings advocating for this right? Because they are the ones who have been out there alone. They are the ones who are taking the concealed carry classes because they called the police and the police didn't come fast. They called the police, but it didn't stop their baby daddy from kicking in the door, and they needed to have something right then and there to stop their baby daddy from trying to beat him up. How many persons has this concealed carry legislation and the getting the training and getting the firearm and feeling empowered to be able to not be a victim of a crime? How many women has this helped? See, it doesn't help when the 2A community is sexist. It doesn't help when the 2A community is, I don't know if it's misogyny or misandry, whichever one, I don't know. But it doesn't help when they don't reach out to the women they've capitalized on. It doesn't help when you don't care. And so you missed out on an opportunity to have women be the face of the opponents of these bills. You missed out on that. You put them through training, you got the money, you didn't care. You had no follow through. You had no follow through. You came up in class and you got the money so they could get the insurance, and there's no follow through. They're getting all those magazines, but there's no follow through. Even fire departments. Absolutely. You get it. Even fire departments go out into the community and provide education and training and free smoke detectors. But the NRA has no follow through. USCCA has no follow through. Illinois State Rifle Association has no follow through. You love to capitalize on black, but you're not on the ground, boots on the ground during these situations to help the black, to help the white. Where were you all in Highland Park? Nowhere to be found. And I get it. Mike, are you suggesting that the NRA should have been boots on the ground to provide assistance and support for those people who were victims of crimes? When you are running from gunfire, you don't care who's out there. You just want people to save you. NRA has millions of dollars, and you couldn't provide a trauma outreach, not just for black, but for white. USCCA wants to be on par with the NRA. You love coming in white and black classrooms to take the money, but you're not out there boots on the ground during these traumatic incidents. You can do that to change how you reach people. There's no grassroots efforts. Those would have been the people who would have been glad to testify and say how you helped them in their time of need. Why is it important to have women, and especially black women, in Illinois to be the face of this proposal against the bill and the solutions? Because black women have political capital to Illinois Democrats. White women have political capital to Illinois Democrats. Why? They vote more, they file heads of household more, they use government resources more, they call the police more, they go to family and criminal court more. Need I say more? No follow through. Your advocacy is weak. You don't understand the cards and what's on the table. Well, we don't need to. We'll get justice at the Supreme Court. What happens when Clarence Thomas dies? Didn't Justice Antonin Scalia die just like that? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Justice Antonin Scalia die just like that? Who expected him to die? Who expected him to die? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you kind of knew it was coming. What if Clarence Thomas dies just like that? Well, we still have a fight. But we also have a Democratic president too. So now it's going to change from 6-3 to 5-4. A smart enemy attacks you where you think you're safe. Chris said it. Here we go. Gun groups just want money to fight unconstitutional laws in court. They need more boots on the ground. You all don't have boots on the ground. The grassroots efforts. That room should have been filled with more than just red shirts. That room should have been filled with people dressed in suits and ties or dresses with whatever. And there's another thing I'm going to say too. There's another thing I'm going to say too. Hold on 1 minute. You cannot be up in there antagonizing people who support Moms Demand Action. There was a man in there, a white man. I will not say his name. I know his name and his YouTube channel and his base. He was pointing his finger at Moms Demand Action, talking about their side, their side, their side. Do you know in Chicago, in Illinois, that will get you put on a clear and present danger list? Do you know that will get you put on a list? That will get you put on a list. You cannot go in there advocating for your position, but trying to antagonize them. That doesn't make us look good. That makes us look aggressive. You should be able to argue your point, but not antagonize them. And he was saying on his channel he wasn't going to be confrontational too. So you know who I'm talking about. When you now put yourself in the shoes of a Democratic representative, how much political capital do you see in that room? Let me blow it up so you can see it. How much political capital do you see in that room? Do you see more support in that room for the bill or against the bill? When you look at this picture, that shows more support for it. For it. For it. damn near everybody in that room, the whole room is for it. So if I am, and this camera was right where the representatives were, if I am a state representative, what am I to say? What am I to say? There's more support for it. Where do you see USCCA in the room? Where do you see the persons who are against the bill, who are proponents of people wanting to protect the communities, wanting to protect themselves? Where do you see that? You don't see that in this room. You people won't show up to protect your community. You people won't show up to advocate for your position. So why should we give you anything? Well, because the Constitution gives it to us. Jesus Christ. Anything but to admit your position is weak. Anything but to admit your position is weak. Anything but to admit that your position is weak. Well, we don't have to have a strong position. We have New York State Rifle Pistol Association versus Bruin. And how long has Roe versus Wade been the law of the land until it was just overturned? How long has Roe versus Wade been the law of the land until it was just overturned? You think Supreme Court decisions are forever? You think Supreme Court decisions are forever? You must not study the Supreme Court. You must not study the Supreme Court. Nothing is forever. You think these positions can't change? The NRA was about to go bankrupt. The NRA was about to go bankrupt. And if the NRA is no more, well, we have Gun Owners of America. Sure, yes, we do. Shouts out to Gun Owners of America. But where are the efforts of those who are boots on the ground? Where are the efforts of those who are boots on the ground?